I gained 25 pounds because my girlfriend piled her plate at every buffet and made me finish everything she couldn't eat. Last week, I finally stopped being her human garbage disposal. Gemma loved buffets. Not because she loved food, but because she loved the idea of having endless options without committing to any of them. Every weekend for the 2 years we dated, she'd insist we go to a buffet. Chinese buffet, Indian buffet, Brazilian steakhouse, hotel brunch spread. Didn't matter what kind as long as there was an all-you-can-eat sign on the door. I should have seen the red flags from our very first buffet date. She grabbed 3 plates before I'd even finished loading my first one. Piled them high with everything that caught her eye. Shrimp, prime rib, sushi, fried chicken, mashed potatoes, salad, pasta, crab legs, and desserts. By the time she sat down, our table looked like we were feeding a family of 6. Then she took 3 bites from each plate, declared she was full, and pushed everything toward me. I laughed it off that first time, thought she'd just gotten overexcited, but it happened again the next week, and the week after that, and every single week for 2 years straight. The pattern was always the same. Gemma would spend 20 minutes walking around the buffet, loading up plate after plate. She'd arrange everything perfectly, take a few pictures for her social media, eat maybe 10% of what she'd taken, then announce she was stuffed and couldn't possibly eat another bite. Then she'd look at me expectantly and ask if I was going to finish that. At first I said no, I had my own food. I didn't need to eat hers too, but she'd get upset, said it was wasteful to leave food behind, said the buffet would charge us extra for uneaten food, said she felt guilty watching perfectly good meals go to the trash. She made it seem like I was the unreasonable one for not wanting to stuff myself sick every weekend. So I started finishing her plates. I'd eat my food, then eat hers, then sit there feeling like I was going to explode while she scrolled through her phone and complained about how bloated she felt from the little bit she'd eaten. I gained 25 pounds in our first year together. My doctor asked if my eating habits had changed. I didn't know how to explain that my girlfriend was essentially force-feeding me every weekend because she couldn't control herself at a buffet. The worst part was that Gemma never acknowledged what she was doing. In her mind, she wasn't wasting food because I ate it. She wasn't being inconsiderate because she always offered to share. She wasn't causing any problems because the plates ended up empty one way or another. The fact that I was the one emptying them never factored into her thinking. I tried talking to her about it multiple times, asked if she could take smaller portions. She said she liked having variety and didn't want to limit herself. Asked if she could go back for seconds instead of taking everything at once. She said that was inefficient and she didn't want to keep getting up. Asked if we could maybe eat at regular restaurants sometimes, where portions were controlled. She said buffets were a better value, and she didn't understand why I was complaining when we were getting so much food for the price. She always had an answer, always had a way to make me feel like I was the one being difficult. Meanwhile, I was buying new pants every few months because nothing fit anymore. The breaking point came last week at a seafood buffet. Gemma loaded up her usual mountain of food: crab legs, lobster tail, oysters, shrimp cocktail, fried fish, clam chowder, 2 different kinds of pasta. She ate half an oyster and a few shrimp, then pushed everything toward me and said she was saving room for dessert. I looked at the pile of seafood in front of me, thought about all the meals I'd forced down over the past 2 years, thought about the weight I'd gained, the stomach aches I'd suffered through, the way I dreaded weekends because I knew what was coming. I said no. Gemma looked confused, asked what I meant. I said I wasn't going to finish her food. She laughed like I was joking, said come on, we couldn't just waste all of it. I said she should have thought about that before taking more than she could eat. Her face changed. She got annoyed and said I was being ridiculous. Said I'd always finished her food before, so why was I making a big deal about it now? I told her I'd always hated finishing her food. I'd just done it because she guilted me into it every single time. I told her I'd gained 25 pounds being her personal garbage disposal. I told her I was tired of eating until I felt sick because she couldn't be bothered to take reasonable portions. She got defensive, said she didn't force me to do anything, said I could have said no at any time, said it wasn't her fault I had no self-control. That last part made me laugh out loud. She was blaming my self-control while sitting in front of 6 plates of food she couldn't finish. The staff came to clear our table. They looked at all the uneaten food, and one of them mentioned that excessive waste could result in an additional charge. Gemma immediately pointed at me and said he usually finishes everything, but he's being difficult today. The server looked at me. I shrugged and said I wasn't hungry.